Into your own breath and also the sounds of the wind and nature around you. You just take a moment to think about the energy of the summer solstice as we move towards this highest point of light. And this summer solstice time is an energy of yang, of expansiveness and outward looking. So during this busy period of rampant growth, it's important for us to stay centered and grounded. So as you inhale, imagine inhaling illumination. And as you exhale, imagine exhaling radiance throughout your whole body, with your attention at the solar plexus, the center of your own sun, your own fire, your own light. And as we connect to this great turning point in the Earth's yearly cycle, we take a moment to stop, to be still, to look back on our journey, our own unique journey over this past year. And then take a moment to set your intention moving forward from this point. And let your intention voice your heart's deepest desire. What lights your fire? Take 3 more deep breaths here, connecting with your intention. And begin to connect with that ujjayi breath if you haven't already started to, creating that restriction, that slight restriction in the back of your throat so you can feel the air drag through the lower portion of the nasal cavity and the back of the throat, slowing the breath down and allowing you to create longer inhales and exhale without strain. And then let your eyes flutter open, coming back into the space and this physical body. And bring your hands out to the side, and maybe you can touch the ground or touch the earth with your fingertips if you're sitting up. And if you're laying down, you might want to sit up with the rest of us right now as well. And we're just going to inhale and turn your palms up to the sky as you reach up. And really lengthen up to that sky, to that light above. And then let your right arm float down, palm down towards the earth. Take an inhale, lengthen up a little bit more, and exhale over to the side. So we're side bending to the right. And inhale back to center, and bring that right arm up and over for the other side. So we're creating this arc with our hands. And this crescent shape with our, just keep moving with your breath, going from side to side. This crescent shape with our body, getting into our side body. And kind of mimicking that arc of the sun as it reaches its highest point in just a couple of days. Let's do one more time to each side, and we'll end on your left side since we started on the right. And when you complete, you could bring both hands down. When you finish your left side, bring your hands to your heart center, just for a moment here. And then come onto hands and knees, setting up for cat-cow. So getting into our spine. And I want you to, or I invite you to focus on your solar plexus, your navel center, throughout the whole practice. And imagine that illumination as you inhale and exhaling radiance throughout your whole body on your exhale, connecting with that ujjayi breath. So starting it with this simple movement of cat-cow, of connecting with Ujjayi and that imagery of that sun at your own center. It is said that our bodies have everything inside that we have outside of ourselves. And we have our own sun. Our bones are the earth, the fluids in our body, the water element, the fire in our belly, the air in our lungs, and that connection to a higher consciousness. Do one more round. And as you move into your exhale on this last one, send the sit bones back towards the heels, come into child's pose for a moment, and just take this moment of grounding. You can be in extended or wide-legged child's pose. And let your forehead rest down. And bring awareness to your forehead, your hands, your shins, the tops of your feet, your forearms, everything that's in contact with the earth. And feel that support of that earth plane beneath you. And with your next breath of inhale, we're using your Ujjayi, rise up from that earth plane, using it to support you as you curl your toes under and send the sit bones up and back into downward facing dog. For these first few breaths in your down dog, you can walk your dog out a little bit. Bend one knee, bend the other knee. Find where all those little tight spots are. Maybe it's your arches, maybe it's your calves, your hamstrings, maybe it's your shoulders. And really ground down through your feet and through your hands to feel that connection. And as you press down through hands and feet, it allows you to rise up, lifting the sit bones up off the waist. Taking one more breath here. And then using your exhale to step or walk to the top of your mat. Feet come between your hands. And then inhale, hands to your shins, lift the heart and lengthen your spine from sit bones to crown. Use your exhale to draw the belly in and fold forward. Knees can be bent a little bit here. We're going to do that 2 more times, just getting the body warmed up. Feeling into the earth through our feet as we bow to the earth. And inhaling to lift our heart up and lengthen through our spine. This time as we bow down and bending your knees a little bit, let's press into the earth and rise up. Circle your arms wide. Reach high. Look up to the sky. Press your palms together. Draw into your heart center. Take a moment to connect your feet to the earth, to that solid plane beneath you. And we're going to warm up with some sun salutations, with some lunges, and just igniting that fire within us. So as you stand here in mountain pose, just take a moment to imagine that fire at your belly, at your navel center. And each breath, it illuminates, and each exhale, it radiates throughout your body, through every cell. On your next inhale, palms up, reach up to the sky, look up. And as you exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift the heart and lengthen. And as we exhale, step the right foot back into a lunge. And you can have those of you who have blocks, you might want your blocks at the top of your mat, because we're going to work through some lunges and a few other postures. So if they're at the top of your mat, they're in reach when you need them. So take a moment with your back knee up to start. And sometimes I like to just rock a little bit, especially if I'm stiff on your toes, back and forth, almost like you're sliding and gliding. And hopefully create a little slide and glide in the body. And then drop the back knee as you exhale. And inhale, let's circle the arms wide, nice and slow as we rise up, like we're circling around the sun, and reach up and bring your fingertips together, and then bring the heel of your hand together and open the fingertips. So your thumb and your little finger are connected, and it's open to receive that energy for your intentions. Take one more breath here. And then exhale, hands come down to the mat. Lift your back knee and step back, downward facing dog. Inhale forward to plank pose. And your plank pose might be Knees lifted. Your plank pose might also be knees down, and that might change as we move through our practice. We're staying in plank for another breath, igniting that fire as you inhale, feel that illumination, and as you exhale, that radiation of the warmth and the light throughout your body. Take one more inhale, and as you exhale, lower down. And again, it might be knees, chin, chest. It might be chaturanga. Extend the feet, or extend the toes. Lift the heart into cobra for this first round. And actually, let's do 2 more cobras with your breath. Inhale. Lift the heart. Open to that light. Awaken to the day. Exhale. Down. One more. Inhale. Lift that heart and radiate your light out. Exhale. Back down. Take an inhale. As you exhale, press up and back, either pausing in child's pose along the way or straight to down dog. And then meeting in down dog. Let's float that right leg up to the sky in 3-legged dog and reach it up. Rise up high on your left toes, left foot that's grounded. Bend the knee, draw the knee to your nose. Step that foot up between your hands. Use your right hand to help it get up there if you need to. And take a moment here to slide and glide with your knee lifted. And then use your exhale to drop the back knee. And then circling the arms wide, palms up. Create that arc of the sun as we lift up. Bring your pinky, your heel of your hand, and your thumbs together with the rest of the fingers open like a flower to receive the energy, the light, the warmth. Take one more breath here. And then exhale. Hands come down. Lift the back knee. This time we step forward on the exhale. Inhale, lift the heart halfway. Exhale, bow, draw the belly in. Rise up, circle wide. Reach high, look up to the sky. Draw into your heart center. So take a moment just to reground through your feet in your mountain pose. Reconnect with that nature all around you, all in front of you. And let's do another round. Inhaling, palms up. Reach up, look up. Exhale, bow. Draw the belly in. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, left foot steps back this time, coming into our lunge. Let's drop the back knee on an exhale. Inhale, reach up. Now, option to stay here in center, or you can bring the right hand down to your knee. Inhale, lengthen left arm up, side bend over to your right. So really creating that arc, that crescent shape with your body here. Maybe you even look up to the sky. And lengthen up through your elbow. And then come back to center. Hand comes down, lift the back knee, step back. And know that you can take child's pose and skip a vinyasa anytime you feel that's what your body needs. Otherwise, come forward to plank pose. Just pause here for a breath. Each time we come into plank, take a moment to really push the earth away from you, from that support that it gives you, to allow you to rise up. And then use your next exhale to lower down, however you're going to lower down. Knees, chin, chest, chaturanga. And this time, let's come into cobra again, but let's bring our fingertips wide, or our arms wide, fingertips on the ground, and elbows bent and pointing up to the sky. 3 times with your cobra here. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, sink back down to the earth. Inhale, rise, open to the light. And exhale, back down. One last time. Inhale to lift the heart to the light. And exhale, back down. Hands under your shoulders, press up and back, child's pose, or straight to down dog, your choice. 3 more breaths, so choose if you want to stay in child's pose till the last breath or if you want to meet us in down dog as we progress to our lunge on our second side. So using your next inhale to float left leg up to the sky, 3-legged dog. Rise high on your right toes, press the top of the mat away from you, and then bend that left knee, knee to the nose, lift the belly high, step it up between your hands. Let's drop the back knee. Arc, follow that arc, that circle around up to the sky. Connect little finger and thumb, the rest of the fingers open, heel of the hand together. Receiving in that lotus mudra. And maybe inviting a little more back bend than we had in the other lunges as we begin to open the body a little more. Take one more breath here. Exhale, hands come down. Lift the back knee, step forward. Inhale, lift the heart and lengthen. Exhale, draw on the belly as we fold. Press into the earth, circle the arms wide and high as we reach up, look up, stretch up, and draw into your heart center. And release your hands. Take a moment to connect again to that solid surface beneath you, that earth plane. And just take a moment, maybe even close your eyes for some present moment awareness. Just feel the effect of the energy, the prana, the breath moving through your body after those few sun salutations and movements. And then let's go ahead and move through another sort of modified sun salutation. Inhale to reach to the sky. And this time as we exhale, sit down in chair pose. And you can have your feet wide here. Take another inhale, reach up, and create that action of moving your feet away from one another. So the hips and the power in the legs is really fired up to help us connect to the earth. Take one more inhale. And then as you exhale, hands towards the earth, sit bones up to the sky. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, step the right foot back. This time we're going to stay high on our back toes for crescent moon. Circle your arms wide and rise all the way up. So even though this isn't a classic balance pose, it still challenges our balance. So we're going to do exactly what we did on the low lunge. So you can bring that left hand to your front knee to help you with balance a little bit. And then side bend over to the left. So we're opening that whole left side body, hip flexor here. And lifting the heart. If you feel balanced, you can look up to the sky. I know if I turn and look to the sky, I'm probably going to fall over, so I'm not. But you can play with that idea of looking up, lifting the energy. And then come back to center. Bring your arms down for a moment. Intertwine your fingers behind your back and lift the heart. Now you can, if you didn't look up before, see if you can begin to lift your gaze. As we lift our gaze, it also lifts our energy. And we can imagine lifting and looking up to the light as your heart lifts and sending the knuckles down towards your back of your knee. One more breath, maybe a little pause at the top of your inhale. And then exhale, release the hands down. Let's step back, downward facing dog. So again, the choice, you can stay in down dog, you can take child's pose if that's what suits you right now, or come forward to plank pose. Use your exhale to lower down, and you might lower through chaturanga and move into upward facing dog, or you might lower all the way down and come into cobra, or press up from the mat into up dog. And then we'll all find our way back into downward facing dog. And you might pause in child's pose along the way, on the way back. All appropriate ways to get there. Let's take 3 more breaths wherever you're at. Staying connected to that ujjayi breath, that little restriction in the back of your throat to slow the breath. Control the prana that rides on the breath. And remember to inhale illumination and exhale radiance out into every cell in your body from your solar plexus. Let's all meet in down dog for one last inhale. Exhale it out, connect to the earth. And then your next inhale, float right leg up to the sky, three-legged dog. And as you exhale, step that foot up between your hands. We're rising in crescent moon on our second side, so stay high on your back toes. Circle your arms wide, the arc of the sun. Reach it up, maybe lift your heart, lift your gaze. And then we release our right hand to the right thigh. Lengthen up through that left elbow, side bend over to the right. So again, nice stretch in the hip flexors, opening up the ribs as though you could let the light of your solar plexus out through the cracks between your ribs. One more breath. And come back to center. Release your hands down to your mat. Step back, down dog. Take another inhale here. Exhale it out. And let's step, walk, or float to the top of your mat on your next exhale. Take an inhale, lift your heart. As we exhale, sink your hips low into a low chair pose. Reach your arms up to the sky in chair. Take another inhale here. Exhale down through your feet. And then inhale, rise all the way up. Circle your arms wide and around to your heart center. Again, take that present moment awareness, pause. Close your eyes or stare out to the trees, to the grass moving in the wind. Finding your breath. Finding that connection to the prana that you are building. One more round of breath here. And then we're going to move through some standing poses here. And actually, I think we're going to steal from last week's class. There was some stuff we did last week that I really liked, so let's do it again. Inhale, reach to the sky. As we exhale, sit down in chair pose. Take an inhale here. And as we exhale, we're going to step right foot back behind us. Open up into your warrior two. So widen your stance if you didn't take quite a big enough step as we step back. And so what we're going to do is we're going to inhale, up, straighten your leg, pivot, and exhale, warrior two, your second side. So we're just going to oscillate with your breath from side to side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, press it out. Warrior two, your second side. So you should be facing the front. Inhale, up. Pivot, press it out. Warrior two, facing the back. Keep moving for a few more breaths like this. Just building. I might not be talking at the same speed of your breath, so move with your breath rather than me. It's important that you connect with your own ujjayi breath. Do one more complete round so that you end facing the top of your mat. So if you're already at the top of your mat, do one more circular round and meet at the top of your mat. Using your own breath, we're all going to get there eventually. Beautiful. Now we're going to move into peaceful warrior. So your next inhale, the front arm reaches up. Again, we're creating space, letting the light out between those ribs. And your exhale, we move into side angle. And you can start with forearm on the knee. And you might progress because we're going to move in and out a few times. The inhale, peaceful warrior. The exhale, side angle. And as we progress, we're going to do one more round. Your fingertips might come to the floor or to a block, or your forearm might stay on your knee. And this is our last one. This one we're going to stay for a few breaths. And you can look up to the sky, spin those right ribs up to the sky. Feel that connection to the earth. One more breath. And we inhale, press into the floor, come all the way up. Turn your toes to the long side of your mat. Intertwine your fingers behind your back. I'm turning around. Lift the heart. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold forward. Now if this is too much with your fingers intertwined, you can grab opposite elbows or just let your hands slide down your thighs. Let the crown of your head drop towards earth no matter how deep your forward fold is. Maybe just a tiny micro bend in your knees so you're not hyperextending, but really pressing into the earth rather than just resting on the earth. You're actively pressing down and feeling that connection. One more full round of breath here. And then your next inhale, begin to lead with your heart center. Come up with a nice strong back all the way up. Release your hands. And again, take that present moment awareness before we move on. Inhaling and exhaling. And now turn your toes 45 degrees out for fiery angel. So we just bend our knees and try to create your knees going in the same direction as your toes. Adjust your feet accordingly. Reach up to the sky. And we're just going to create that arc of the sun here again. So take an inhale, reach up. As we exhale, swing the arms wide and down towards the earth. Let your hands cross in front of you. And inhale, reach it back up. And we're going to do a few more rounds of breath like that. Just let your hands cross opposite of whatever you did the first time around. And let them swing down. So we're oscillating between moving towards the earth and rising up towards the sky. One more round of breath. I know your thighs are probably beginning to burn. And then straighten the knees. Let your arms come down. Turn your front toes to the top of your mat. And let's bend that knee, hands down to the mat. Step back, down dog. So same opportunity to come into child's pose, to stay in down dog, or take a flow and flush that out, whatever we did, and meet us back in down dog. Whatever feels right for your body, whatever you need in this moment. Always honoring what you need, what your heart's desire is, and what the body's really craving in this moment. We're going to take 3 resting breaths wherever you're at, whether it's down dog or child's pose. Whatever position you're in for this last resting breath, just bring your attention back to your intention that you set for your class. And are you honoring that intention? Let's all meet in downward facing dog for one breath together. And then take one more inhale and using the bottom of your exhale to step, walk, or float to the top of your mat. Allowing the inhale breath to float your heart up. The exhale, the navel draws in as you fold. Then inhale, rise up. Circle wide up to the sky, look up, and draw into your heart center. And release. Take a couple breaths here before we move into your second side. Nice inhale and exhale. Taking a little mental inventory of what's going on in your body. your energy, what's going on in your mind. And then come back to your breath. Samasti Tihi, come back to your center. You feel that connection through your feet. And then you can float your eyes open. Inhale, circle the arms high. And as we exhale, sit down in chair pose. Take an inhale. Remember, you're sliding your feet apart. And as we exhale, step left foot back. Open the arms wide for warrior two. And let's do that same little oscillation, just warming up here on our second side between the warrior twos. So inhale, reach it up, pivot. Exhale, pivot to the back of your mat, press it out. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, pivot to the front of your mat. And just start moving with your own breath. You might be breathing slower than me, you might be breathing faster. And just move with your breath is more important than being in unison with the rest of the group in our class today. Let's do one more round. And end so that you're facing the top of your mat whenever you get there, and then pause in your warrior two there. And we'll all meet there. Take another breath, and then we'll move into our oscillation between peaceful warrior and side angle. So the inhale, we flip the front palm. Peaceful warrior, make space in that side body. The exhale, forearm to the knee or fingertips to your block or the mat. So two more times like this. The inhale, peaceful warrior, make space in the side body on the right. The exhale, we lengthen the side body on the left. Last one, inhale up. And exhale, this time we stay. So choose if you're staying on forearm or fingertips are coming to the mat or to your block. Rotate your gaze up to the sky, rotate those left ribs up to the sky and lengthen here. One more round of breath. And then press into the earth, rise all the way up. Turn your toes to the long side of your mat. Hands to your sacrum, thumbs towards your spine, fingers wrapping around your hips. Let's inhale, lift the heart into a nice, invite a back bend here as you press into the earth. And then as you exhale, begin to fold forward. Let your hands slide down the back of your thighs. And then let your hands grasp whatever's available to you. So that might be your calves, it might be your ankles, it might be your big toe with your peace fingers. And allow your head, your crown to drop towards the earth in your wide-legged forward fold here. So think about that connection to the earth with your feet. The connection as you move your head, your third eye, your crown towards the earth and that earthly plane and that earthly energy. And stay connected with your ujjayi breath here. One more breath in your forward fold. And then inhale, we rise up, coming all the way up, either dragging your hands along your thighs, hands to your hips, using your heart center. Turn your toes to the top of your mat. Bend your knee, hands come down. Step back, down dog, child's pose, or flow. You get to choose what's right for you in this present moment. And just be mindful as you make your transitions, whether you're choosing cobra or up dog or child's pose, stay connected to your ujjayi breath. You're not letting go of the breath in this part of your practice, even if you're in child's pose. So you're going to have 3 breaths wherever you've chosen to be. Again, staying connected to that Ujjayi breath, your victorious breath. And then let's all meet in down dog. Actually, we're going to meet on your knees. So if you're in child's pose, you can just rise up onto your knees. If you're in down dog, drop down to your knees. So we're going to work a little bit with camel pose. We're going to start with just half camel. So if you have blocks and you want to use a block, which way am I going to turn so you can see me? You can pretend I have a block here on my right side, or you can also use your heel, depending. We're just going to do half camel on this round. So this is going to look like this, or if I had a block, I could have my hand on a block here as well. So find whatever you're going to reach, and it might be your calf, it could be your hip. And we're just going to reach the left hand up, the right hand is on whatever part of your body you're attaching to. It can be your hip right here, it can be your sacrum, it can be your heel. And reach that left arm up. And you can be looking up to the sky, and then come back up. And we're simply going to switch sides. So left hand either to a block, to your heel, to your sacrum, right arm reaches up. And it might just be, this might be what you're doing. And maybe you're holding your head. If you're straining your neck, maybe that right hand is holding the back of your head and giving you a little bit of support, especially if you've got neck issues going on. And then come back to center. Hands come to your heart center. Close your eyes for a moment and just feel the energy of that little mini back bend there. And then come down into child's pose. Breathe into your back body, release any tension you may have created there. And then let's rise up. Find your downward facing dog. Lengthen through your spine. Find your blocks if you've misplaced them, as we're going to move into some of those lizard variations we did last week. So let's start with the right leg. Right leg floats up. Exhale, step it up to the outside of your right hand. So a little wider. And then have your blocks right in front of you inside that right foot if you're going to use your blocks. So I'll show you where we're going with this, and then you can decide how high you need your blocks. And if you need higher blocks, I would stack them so you have a wider surface. So we're going to take the right forearm and bring it parallel to the floor, whether you're down here, to your blocks, wherever you are. And you can make a fist if you want. So you have some strength here, that strength of the earth plane. And then as we inhale, we're going to reach that right hand up to the sky into a little twist. So you can have that back knee down. We're going to oscillate between this two. So what I would do, Scott, is put them on the flat side down so you get a little more stability. Yeah, there you go. You'll have more stability than if you need the third one. So your right foot is forward. Your right forearm is the one that comes towards that flat plane wherever you are. And it's that same right hand that swings open to reach up to the sky. Yeah, that probably feels better. And exhale, we come back down. Forearm parallel to your blocks or your mat. Inhale, up. And as I said, it's up to you whether the back knee is up or down. Let's do one more round of breath like that. And then exhale, both hands down. And this always feels good to me, and we did it last week with some extra stuff. We're just going to shift back. It's just a nice little release after lizard pose. So the right toes point up to the sky. You can have your hands on blocks here. And then walk it forward, step back, down dog. Let's move into our second side to balance you out. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, step it wide to the outside of your left hand. And you might have your blocks exactly where you had them. One side might be tighter than the other, and one side might be more open than the other. So this time it's the left forearm that we're working with, left arm that's going to reach up. So bring your forearm parallel either to the mat, to your blocks. And even if it doesn't touch, that's okay. Don't be too worried about the schematics of it. Your inhale breath, twist to the left, open the palm, look up. Exhale, we come back down. You can bring that hand back to the fist, that strength of the fist. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, we come back. Let's do one more. Inhale. And exhale. Let's bring the back knee down, both hands down. Walk it back. Left heel pressing down, left toes up. Hands can be on blocks. Maybe lift your heart a little bit. And then walk it up. Step back, down dog. We're almost done the hard stuff, guys. Nice big breath. Inhale forward to plank, and we're all going to come down to our bellies. However you get to your belly is up to you. Extend your feet long. Release your hands alongside your hips, palms facing each other. Rising up into Salabhasana or Superman pose. Let's inhale, lift the heart, lift the arms, float the legs up, lengthen through the legs, through the toes so much that your legs float up. Keep your pubic bone grounded. Take one more breath. And exhale slowly with control, come down. Hands under your forehead, breathe into the belly. We're going to do one more round, and you can choose bow pose if that's appropriate for whatever is going on in your body today. Or you can do a second round of Salabhasana that you just did. So, take one more deep belly breath here. Let your belly press into the floor, and then prepare. If you're doing bow, bend your knees and reach back to your ankles. And don't let your knees splay wide. Keep them parallel and two fists width apart. And if that's not appropriate for you, just come into Salabhasana. So kick your feet away, your heels away from the sit bones. Begin to open the heart, lift the heart. Open to the light. Maybe your thighs lift up. And then we're going to do 3 breaths. The top of your inhale, lift a little higher. Next breath, top of your inhale, lift a little higher, one last breath. Lift a little higher at the top of the inhale and release down. Choose to stack your hands under your forehead to do your belly breath, or turn your head to one side or the other with your arms alongside your hips. Whatever is most appropriate for your neck. Breathe into the belly. And feel your belly ground into the earth. Feel that earth plane beneath you, supporting you. And feel your breath fill your low back. Awareness into your back body as well. If you've got your head turned in one direction, turn it the other direction. Few more belly breaths here. And when you feel ready, you can press up and back into child's pose, or if this is feeling really good, stay here on your belly for a few more belly breaths. Whatever your body, your mind is calling you towards, take that pose. Within the next few breaths, Begin to slowly find your way into downward facing dog. Taking your time getting there, mindfully staying connected to your Ujjayi breath. And then on your next inhale, float the right leg up, three-legged dog. Exhale, step that foot up between your hands. So we're coming into our crescent lunge again. We rise up, finding our balance. And then we're going to bring our left arm under our right arm and wrap around for eagle arms. So your eagle arms might be grabbing opposite shoulders, might be pressing the back of your hands together, or might be wrapping your palms. So take what's appropriate for you. Take a breath here just to lift your heart a little bit. Find the root on that right foot, your front foot. And so we're going to make this transition into eagle pose. So that left back foot is going to come forward and wrap over your right. Find your eagle pose. You might take a couple little toe taps to find your way up there, and that's okay. So lifting your heart. So it's said that the eagle flies high to the sun above us, carrying the prayers to the sky, to the cosmos. Take one more inhale here. And as we exhale, slowly drawing elbows towards the knees, belly towards the thighs, bowing and honoring earth and sky here. And then slowly, see if you can make your way back up. And release the arms. We're going to swing that left leg back, hands down to the mat, step back, downward facing dog. I promise this is the last hard thing I'm going to make you do today. Let's float left leg to the sky. Exhale, step it up between your hands. And then rising into your crescent moon on our second side. Take a nice open breath here, and as we exhale, the right wing is coming under the left. And your eagle arms might look different on this side depending what's going on in your shoulders or your neck. Take an inhale, lift your heart a little bit here, ground into that left foot. And then begin to shift forward, whoops, and draw that back foot over and across. Sit down on your eagle. And don't be hard on yourself if you waver. Bring your thoughts back to that imagery of the eagle flying high to the sun. Take one more inhale, and exhale, we bow to the earth. Belly to your thighs. Next inhale, we rise back up. And then release. Hands down to the mat. Step that right foot back. Left foot back. Last chance for a flow if you choose to take one, or come into child's pose, or stretch it out in down dog. You choose where you want to go next. Staying connected to your breath, whatever your resting pose is. And then when you're ready, if you're not in child's pose, drop down to child's pose for a couple of breaths, and then we're going to make our way to our seat. Feel that connection to the earth in your child's pose. And then begin to rise up and find your way to a seat. Just going to come into a simple twist to unwind everything. So start with your legs straight out in front of you. We're going to start with the right leg. So you can just draw that knee in if you wish. You can cross the foot over, or you can draw the bottom leg under. You choose where you're going to go. Left hand can come around that top knee. The right hand can come behind you. Inhale to lengthen up, so we're twisting right. Exhale, begin to twist towards your right. And again, just move with what was working for your body in this particular moment. The important part is keeping a nice tall spine and not cranking through your neck, and staying connected with your breath. And that navel center that you've been illuminating all class, as you exhale, it draws and twists towards the right. Take one more breath here. And then exhale, unwind back to center. Release your legs out straight for a moment. Give your hips a break. And then if your legs are crossed, change the cross of your legs. Otherwise, draw your left foot in. Maybe it stays here. Maybe it crosses over. And maybe the bottom one comes under. Right arm around that front knee. Draw the belly, twisting to the left. Left hand behind you. Every exhale, imagine your navel center drawing in and twisting towards your left. Take one more inhale, and then unwind to center. Release your legs out in front. And we're going to do, before I get you on your back, we're going to do a pranayama, a cooling pranayama before you lie down. So if you want to sit on something before we move down, or before we start the pranayama, grab whatever you want to sit on, and then you'll be on your back shortly. So the pranayama we're going to do is called Satali, and it's a cooling breath, which is really good to use in the summertime, especially on hot days. Even though today's not super hot, we worked with building some heat in the body. And we want to balance that yang energy that we're in right now with the solstice with some cooling practice so that we don't burn out. So Satali is basically, there's two ways to do it, and I forget the name of the other version, but I'll tell you how to do the other version. So Satali is curling your tongue, and I know you might not see me from back there. Yeah, Ben's got it. Like it's a straw, and you're going to inhale through your tongue and then release and close. Some people are not able to curl their tongue in this way, so you'll curl your tongue this way, so it'll look like this. So you're breathing the air in through the sides of the curl, or through the center like a straw, whichever one works for your tongue. And so the inhale is through the cooling of the tongue, the moisture on the tongue, and then you release and exhale through your nose. This is great to do if you're feeling overheated, and angry, irritated. It actually cools the mind. So you can close your eyes, hands can be on your knees on the earth, whatever feels right for you. And just curl your tongue in whichever direction is working for you. For the inhale, yes. You would have walked by it, or you can go behind there if you're comfortable with that too. So just continue a few rounds. Did you have a question, Suzanne? No, okay. Nice cooling. You could feel the coolness of the air as you inhale, allowing it to cool the thoughts, cool the mind, and exhaling out the mouth. Let's do 4 more rounds of Satali. Staying with a nice slow exhale. And as you complete your last round of breath, staying with that cooling action of the breath on the mind, begin to make your way onto your back in your own time. And take a moment to notice if the brain is cooling down a little bit, if those thoughts are going a little more slowly. So you can take a moment with your legs straight. We're not quite in Shavasana yet, but just take a little mini Shavasana before we bring it down completely to our Shavasana. And as we're going to be cooling down here, if you are already physically cooling down and you want to throw on your sweater at this point, go ahead, or if you need socks or whatever. Because we're just going to continue cooling a little bit in our practice before we move into Shavasana. And whenever you're ready, we're going to draw the right knee in towards the chest, coming into Apanasana. You can wrap your hands around your shins, or your shin, I should say, not shins. And just find a nice slow rhythm of your breath here. Now you could stay in this posture in stillness, or you can bring a little bit of movement by moving the leg with your hands in a circular motion in one direction or the other, or stay in stillness, whatever feels right for your body right now. All our bodies are different and we all need different things in our body at different points in time. So one more breath in this variation, and then we're going to move into, and I think Scott was reading my mind, into a variation of half happy baby. So what I'll invite you to do, and we've done this in class before, but I'm going to invite you to draw your left foot, bend your knee and draw that foot to the sole of the foot to the mat, so the knee's bent. And then grab as though you're going into happy baby with your right foot. So you might grab your ankle, you might grab your shin, you might grab the sole of your foot. And slowly begin drawing the knee or the thigh back towards your mat. You don't have to get to your deepest point all at once. Take your time getting there. And now you get to choose. You might be keeping the left leg bent with the sole of your foot on the mat, or you might straighten that leg or begin to move towards straight, and maybe you hover that foot for a couple of breaths, and then decide if it's applicable for you to place that foot, the heel down. Because it'll change where you are. It might hover, it might come all the way down, and if you bring it all the way down, imagine an elephant standing on your thigh, because you're trying to get that thigh towards the earth. But again, we're not forcing. It doesn't matter the shape or how far along the way you are. What matters is the sensations you're feeling in the body and the thoughts that are going on in your mind as you move through these different postures. Take one more nice breath here. And then you can slowly release that right foot. Bend both knees and bring the soles of both feet down to the mat for a moment. Just let the pelvis balance out. And then you can slowly, straighten the right leg down and draw your left knee in towards your chest in Apanasana to start. And then again, choose stillness or choose movement in this posture. Notice how your hips feel. What do you really need in this moment? And then when you're ready, we're going to move into the half happy baby. So bend the right knee, bring the sole of the foot back to the mat, and grab whatever part of the sole of your foot, maybe it's your calf, maybe your ankle, whatever is available to you, so that the sole of your foot is parallel to the ceiling. And then you begin to draw, with using the strength of your arm, drawing the foot down so that you're moving the knee towards the earth. And take your time getting to your furthest position that's comfortable for you. And then bring your awareness to your opposite leg. And slowly extend that to hover. And then choose if you're going to slowly lower that heel all the way down. And if that's not appropriate for the sensations you're feeling, move back to the first position you started in. Again, we're not forcing our body into any shape. We're looking for sensations that are not painful. 2 more breaths here. And then as you begin to ease your way out of this, bend both knees and bring the soles of both feet to the mat. Pause here with both feet down, your pelvis neutral and down. And then when you're ready, draw both knees in. Maybe you rock from side to side and feel that grounding sensation of the back against the earth plane beneath you. And then keeping your knees drawn in, simply release your arms straight out to the side. And then we're going to slowly lower the knees towards the right side. So like your knees are moving into a twist towards, a supine twist towards your right elbow. Doesn't mean they're going to touch your right elbow, but that's the direction they're moving. And let yourself begin to soften. Notice how open your heart is. Use your next inhale into the navel center to draw your knees back to center. And when you feel ready, use your exhale to drop to the other side. Use your next inhale breath to slowly make your way to center. And do any last minute things you need to do before you shift into Shavasana. Whether it's a movement of your body or adding a layer of clothing or warmth. Maybe it's feet to the sky, maybe it's straight into Shavasana. Let it be what works for you. And as we all find our way on our backs into Shavasana using whatever props, coverings that you need, bring your awareness one more time to that earthly plane beneath you and all those contact points that are touching it in this moment. Notice how it supports you. See if you can begin to tune into that vibration, that frequency of the earth beneath you. And tune into the sounds of nature all around you. And tune into your own breath.
Without changing anything in your state of relaxation, simply begin to bring your awareness to those same contact points, the back of your body. And then bring awareness to the front of your body and perhaps the breeze on your skin. And then awareness to your breath. And some of you may choose to remain on your back as we move into a short solstice meditation. Some of you might begin to invite movement into your body and make your way into fetal position on your way up to a seat. Choose what works for you in this moment, but hold on to that state of relaxation as you transition. And as you slowly make your way to your seat, if you are transitioning, take a moment to just reconnect in this new position to the earth below you. And as you lengthen your spine up, allowing the head to float on top of your neck, and keeping that relaxed state in your body and your mind. And as you settle into this new posture, this new position, if you've shifted, take a moment to notice what you are rooted on. This earth, unwavering in its decision to support you right now. Wherever you are, Mother Earth is committed to supporting you on this journey of life, recording every step you've taken since you were born. She is your witness. And then let's consider this air that we breathe, coming from all the plants, the grass, the trees on this earth. These organisms that have learned how to turn light into energy. Let's take a moment to use this gift from nature to release any tightness in the places that you might feel restricted in this moment. Breathe into those places and feel a sense of renewal, and replace tightness with lightness,
and constriction with flow. Feel into the pulsation of your breath in this movement of ancient rhythm. And then bring your hands to your heart center, still with your mind relaxed and your heart wide open, allowing yourself to become quiet and still, enjoying these gifts from this planet. Take a deep inhale through your nose, exhale out your mouth, and we'll close our practice with one Om. With your eyes cast towards the earth, let your eyes begin to flutter open. And then allow your gaze to lift and become aware of your space and those around you. Namaste, 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 namaste.